Whatever. Oh, Johnny just got back.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Virtually Live. So, I'm Psycho, and you are,
I am Faye.
and you are.
Interested in candy? No. Dracula
Again,
6.
as usual. Well, at least this time it's Candy.
Candy
I can't tell
again.
you what it was last week because he wasn't here. He had to call it in, and I just can't say it on the live stream
I'm
like
glad
this.
that you're
Wow.
filtering
Listen.
these things.
The people can't
Yeah,
finish
I
all
am.
the Valentine's candy on their own. I'd be glad to help out with that.
Valentine's
Mm.
candy. Oh, please. Johnny, please. People,
Yes.
listen, people in the know understand that you were really not on a trip last week. You were simply incarcerated, but we got that taken care of for you. No problem.
Hey, look, it's either that or like pay the fine or do the time. So the time is just, listen, I
He
gotta
does the
save up for
time
the
because he didn't
Apple
have a
Pro.
Valentine.
time.
That's why he did the time. He didn't have a Valentine,
Yes.
so that's why he did the
Oh,
time.
there
So
was
he
plenty of
had one
love
for-
in there. There was plenty of
Yes, there
enamored
is. There's
souls.
a bunch of bunch of Drac love. Oh man. How was your trip, Johnny? Did you
It
miss us
was
terribly?
good.
Did you cry yourself to sleep at night in your pillow because you missed us?
Ooh, did you
Well,
watch
other
us on
than
stream while you
normal,
were
not
gone?
anymore. I was not able to. I went to there was an event that I had to go for work that was near one of my
Rude.
friends, and I stayed there, but they did not have good internet. So it was kind of
Aw.
like in the
Oh.
middle, like it's just like crummy service, and I'm not used to it. And but it was fun. I watched the Super Bowl with my friends and hung out. I
That's
tried to
cool.
be a VR Angelus, but my friend had a headache and didn't want anything to do with it. So I said
Aw.
okay,
Oh.
but other than that,
That's too bad.
it was pretty fun, and I was excited to get back in. And no, I just did miss you guys in the crowd, of course, and
Well, we missed
ready
you.
to get back
Nice.
in it. Oh, thank
Good,
you.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I will put everyone's expectations of excitement to rest. Faye did not get to go and check out the Apple Vision Pro. Her scheduling got a little messed up. Faye,
Tomorrow.
I'm hope you're over that.
Tomorrow. I'm over it.
Is it
But
tomorrow?
tomorrow. I get to see it
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yes, yes, I do.
Ooh, we're gonna talk
Mm-hmm.
today about some stuff that maybe not make it so attractive, but we'll see. We'll go over
Oh,
that. We'll see.
don't break my
That's
little
okay.
heart.
Oh, I would
You
never.
had me checking my battery again. Stop doing that.
Sorry. That's the sad. That's the Apple Vision sad sound.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Wow. Okay. Well, so I wanted to catch a couple of the stories we had to pin over from last week. Just a couple of things real quick. Starting with what was going on at Target, because have you guys seen the Stanley cups that Target, Starbucks, and everything has, like those hot pink ones and all that they put out for Valentine's Day? Those
Mhm.
things were flying off the shelves. It was like a Black Friday thing. People were in line for those overnight. It was just insane. People were going
People gotta
crazy
have
for
their
this
cups.
thing. Yeah, they gotta have their cups. Well, what's I sidebar? They're saying there's some people saying that the cups are full of lead and that they're not safe. So now people are all like, wah wah. So I'm like,
Oh my
okay.
god.
What do they do? Why is it such a
Well,
like
it's
am
They
the
I
have
missing
colors.
liquid.
something?
Don't you know what a cup is?
They,
I do, but why is there such a like why are people getting
oh,
fired over a cup?
look at her. Well, I'll tell you why. Because Target has this policy that employees have to wait 15 minutes before they can go and purchase something. They have to be on the break off the clock or whatever, and they have to go through and purchase it and everything, but they have to wait 15 minutes till the customers can come through and grab
Hmm.
theirs. Well, there were a bunch of employees that did not do that, and they grabbed all of the cups, that they wanted. And
Ah, it's like
what
the Furbies
happened
all over
is
again.
there's a huge things that people are on social media about this because a lot of them were the baristas, obviously from Starbucks. One Starbucks in particular, they fired 7 of their 12 employees that were from Starbucks in their little Starbucks. That means
Wow.
7 out of 12. So there's nobody to
Wow.
Huh.
staff the Starbucks cafes. So the people who were fired, now those cafes were struggling because they did not have any employees because I guess it happened at different Starbucks.
Hmm.
And a lot of the ones they fired were leads, And that's tough because now I was a barista for Starbucks back in college, back in the day, before Christ, back when they put all your instructions on a stone tablet. Yes. And what happened with that situation, we had a lot of stuff we had to go to. They called it Starbucks University. And we had to go over there to San Francisco and we
Really?
had to go. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm not kidding. We had to go for 4 hour classes at night on and it was after hours. It was horrible, and we'd have to go into these things. And Daharo Street, that's where the main place was for Starbucks. So we would go
Huh.
in there, and we would sit there for 4 hours. They had all different kinds of boring snoozing classes, like stuff you would not even be intrigued with. And there was one in particular that was horrific because at the time that I was working there, they had actual beans that you would ground up for people and stuff like that. And they
Mhm.
had, oh my God, we went to one of the classes and we had to sample about, I don't know, 30 different blends. And it was gross because you would get so sick to your stomach because you'd have to sit there and taste each of these things so you could talk about them to the customers. Almost like being a wine
Ugh.
sommelier or something. Yeah. And
Blech.
anyway, we all left there feeling really nasty. Although the in-car entertainment was one of the women that went with us from our store. We gave the instructor, he needed a ride to BART, so I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll give you a ride. And I was giving a couple people from the store a ride, and it turns out that there's this woman who was like, I don't know, I think she was like at the time 55 or something like that. And she regaled us with stories about her side gig, which was as a dominatrix. Just throwing this in as a treat for y'all.
Oh.
And I will not that when she would share that with another individual, she got paid $1,000 to do that on the spot.
Oh,
Johnny,
geez.
I,
Oh,
I
wow.
see something that you'd be
What?
intrigued with.
I don't pay
What?
for
What?
that. If it
Like,
ain't free, I'm not interested. I
well, let
don't
me
pay.
say that was the only
I
exciting
I
thing about
produce
the class.
I produce
Oh,
my
wow.
own. Technically, we're all 3D printers. Okay, I'll stop. Anyways, tasting all the coffee, that reminds me when Mama Dracula's caught me smoking and she made me
Uh-huh.
smoke a bunch of cigarettes. So that you must
Ooh.
have been like that with the coffee,
Oh.
just like over
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
gross. Did that turn you off of the
Did it
cigarettes?
work?
For a few months, but then I thought it was cool again. But no, I stopped now. I don't do it no more. But yeah, it
Oh
didn't
my
work.
Oh,
I
God.
just got
man.
really sick. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Just a sidebar smoke. I tried actually my parents had smoked and they had quit cold turkey, and they went on like 40 years without smoking after that or something, but or more.
Mhm.
But I remember that my friend when I was in college and my best friend had gone away to college and when she came back and she had picked up smoking when she was away and I was like, "Oh hell no." And I was talking to her about stopping it and she just, she wasn't wanting to stop it. I'm like, "Well, fine, then I'm gonna smoke something. I'm gonna do it if you don't stop." And she's like, "Knock it off," because I have really bad asthma, right? So sure enough, so I'm like, "Well, screw you." So I picked up a cigarette, so I lit one of her cigarettes, and I start smoking this thing. And I kid you not, for the next 3 or 4 days, I was sick as hell. I don't know if it was some kind of
Oh,
cold
no.
that you got. I mean, I got so
Yeah.
sick from it and I wanted to throw up. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever tasted in my life. And I could not understand the addiction. I know the nicotine and all that, but I could
Mm.
not get, even if I was addicted to it, I could not get past the taste. It was just horrific.
Well,
Just
that's
horrific.
good.
It
That's
But
good
she
that you
did
didn't
stop
get
smoking
addicted.
around for a while when she was home for a
Oh,
while.
that's good.
Hopefully, I don't
That
know.
is good.
She probably
Hmm.
picked it back up at school, but well, anyway, back. So with the Starbucks thing, so what happened is people have to go through 40 hours of classes. So an employee has to go through 40 hours of training at this
Mhm.
the Starbucks facility, and the people who are the team leads, they have to go through 80 hours of the training, and in addition to that, they have to
Oh.
get their food service certificates at the managerial level, which is a lot. And
Mhm.
so I guess they fired a bunch of people that were the team leads that went through and had to go through all that training. So they
Mm.
really shot themselves in the foot by doing this. So
Dang.
my question, I guess, would be, what up with these cups? I mean, first of all, would you guys
That's what I'm
be all
saying.
rushing in
I
for this
mean,
thing? I mean, it's these pretty little pink cups. I don't have I don't have a picture of it, but you can look it up. The Stanley, it's the Stanley cups from Starbucks, Target, and you'll see them. As a matter of fact, you can buy them now. They have all different kinds of colors. You can get them online now. But I'm kind of curious, like 45, $50 for these things.
People
Wait,
collect.
$50 for a cup?
Yeah, like a 40
Mm-hmm.
ounce.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
isn't that?
Yeah.
It keeps, it's supposed to keep it warm for a certain amount of time or cold. But listen, I've got some that are cheaper, double walled that keep things super super hot for a long time, and they're not that pricey. Depends on
Mm-hmm.
when you get. But would you guys? I mean, would you rush to something like this? I mean, if you were
Not me
unemployed.
personally. I don't. I'm not going to collect something continuously, but I definitely
Mm-hmm.
know it happens. I mean, uh, kind of like in the same vein of what you were saying, where employees were taking their um, their fair share of the items and things like that before the customers could.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do that with Furbies in Walmart, and
Oh
it
my
was a thing
God!
that they would hide the Furbies, behind things, and that way that
Wow.
when they could left the store for the day, they could go check out and buy the Furbies where nobody else could, or anything else that was really special. Like during Black Friday at Walmart, they had computers, completely computers that were boxed up, and they'd hide them under things too if they could. So that they would
Really?
be the only one, because the store would only get like one or two of them or something like that when those would happen.
Oh,
And
that's why. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I have mixed emotions about that type of thing because, listen, I know how it is as a consumer if I want something, and there have been times when I know that employees I've seen them back behind the counters and I've been pissed off. I'm like, that's not fair. But listen,
Hmm.
the other side of it too, when back when I was managing in retail, and when we had something special come out, I would allow the staff to grab one of something to put it behind, like
Mm.
not a bunch of them. But I'm like, you guys go ahead and grab one, put it behind. We have enough. I mean, if we had enough, I was like, everybody go ahead and grab one. That's fine, and then you can pick it up on your break or something. Because I'm
Hmm.
a little torn between that. But I mean, I understand the policy, but my question also is how many things do you get? I mean, your inventory, you should get a good amount of something in your inventory so that, you know what, these 12 employees are not going to make a dent. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Let them
Yeah,
have
they
it
do it
and
for a resale value. I mean, if they're doing it
yeah.
for, their family and things like that, that's cool. But, it was found that it was many, many, many of them. So I don't know. It just really
Well,
depends on
that
that.
makes sense. Well, people are
Yeah.
selling these
Hey,
Stanleys online. They were selling them online for so much, hundreds of dollars. I think one was up to 1,000 or something. And I'm thinking, and now you can just now they just
Yeah.
needed to wait and you can go get one now online. So
A
yeah.
prime example of this is the Disneyland popcorn buckets and sippers. Those go for bank in eBay.
What?
You
Really?
go you go they release all of these limited edition versions of these popcorn buckets and drink sippers, and you buy them for like $15 or something like that at Disney, but then they go up on eBay just, the same day for like $50. There were some that were going
Whew.
for about $100 last year. There was a Figment
Wow.
dragon one that was going for about $100. It's just they are in demand and they
Hmm.
don't have enough supply and demand.
Wow, that's
But you'll see
crazy.
these pictures of these people with these, like 10 popcorn buckets in each hand. I have a big family. Yep.
Oh my
And if
God.
not a big family, they go straight to eBay.
That's insane. I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, you guys, any of you guys out there, would you be intrigued with something like that kind of a cup, or is there anything that you would actually like rush to
No.
get the day it comes out? No, nothing like that.
I see
Yeah,
lots of
yeah.
shaking heads.
Ark,
What's that,
what do you
Art?
think?
I am all about having conversations about nuance, but when my wife told me about this, because she and I get in a lot of philosophical, conversations,
Hmm.
my feelings can be summed up with two words: beanie babies, and I'll let you guys go with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beanie Babies. Oh,
Oh my
man.
God.
I
There
actually
is.
used to work for someone who paid me to get Beanie Babies from the mall when it was releasing so he could resell them on his store, and he paid me in Beanie Babies. So like I would
Oh
go
my
get him a Beanie Baby and
gosh.
he would give me one in return. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
It's when I was
cool.
young.
Yeah, but you know what though? There was a little once when I did a show years and years ago, this little guy played, he was like probably like 9 and he played my son in something. And it was so cute because he really got attached to me and stuff, and like he wanted me to come home. He asked his mom, "Could she come?" So I came to their house. It was really cute, and so he had, I'm not kidding, his bed was covered. Well, okay, this is what's really cute. His bed was covered with hundreds of Beanie Babies. I'd never seen so many in my life.
Oh.
And then on his bedpost, he had a little picture of my face. Oh, that was so cute. And so I thought that was adorable. And so I will, and then I will tell you now, the guy has gone on to, to perform on Broadway and everything. So it's kind of cute now when I see
Whoa.
about that. Um,
That's
but
awesome.
then there's this other woman I've done shows with, and her mother passed away, and her mother was a wealthy woman who was a collector of many things, and I was shocked to see that when she was doing the estate sale, there was a table full of a ton of Beanie Babies, and she just
Mm.
was pricing them to sell. I was like, oh my God, if she had talked to me, I could have said, you need to go online and find out who collectors want what, because her mother had almost every Beanie Baby, and she would have been
Oh
like,
man.
it would have been insane. Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, but yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not, when it comes to stuff like that, what are you gonna do? I don't think a Stanley Cup is, I mean, hey, cheers to Stanley. Great, glad you have good cups, but you know what? I just don't think that that's worth it. Just this hot pink cup. Now you, of course, Faye
Yeah.
would get it because it's hot
I
pink.
like
But
pink cups.
yeah,
Yeah,
you do like pink
I do.
cups. So,
Cups are nice.
oh my
You
gosh.
gave me
Okay,
a
so
cup
let's
a long time ago, an Aladdin cup.
Oh, oh yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, that's very true.
But
Yeah, that's very that's true.
but yeah, I would not collect them continually and throw my money at tons and tons of cups. That's
Hmm.
Nothing
nope,
can top the
no way.
Aladdin, so that's it.
No,
I'm just saying,
no, I'm
just
good.
saying.
I can
So
hold
you're
your
good.
beverage. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I
Okay,
can make
so
it cold.
let
Go ahead.
please
Sorry.
stop singing about the cups. We've got a story now. Okay, we are gonna keep going for this. It's virtually live, the
I'm
musical. All
holding
right,
myself back. Okay, go
I
ahead.
know, I know. There is karaoke after this, guys. If anybody wishes to come and have a
Yeah,
little fun, kind of sing a little bit.
karaoke.
Um, so let's talk about Meta. Meta is doing an interesting shift. So they were all about their AR and everything like that. It's a big, huge deal and everything like that. Well, what Meta has decided is that it is not profitable to focus on AR right now. So they are still partnering with Ray-Ban, but they are pushing it off. They're kind of shelving it a little bit. They figure that at least maybe by 2027 there will be kind of a market to look for this kind of thing. But what they're doing is they're pulling back from the AR, and what they've decided to
Mm,
do is the research and development costs and everything are just up, and they thought, you know what, well, we're just going to hold off on that. But instead they're going to take the technology they were going to put in some AR glasses, and they're going to bring it into the Quest. And one of the things that they're talking about, it's called augmentation, or augments, it's called augments, and
augments.
it's kind of like a thing where you have a floating timer, or if you walk into Starbucks, there'd be a menu that could
Yeah.
come up on the glasses or something, right? So they have
Uh-huh.
decided that they're going to do that. They're calling it persistent digital objects in living space. And they are going to be basically trying to move that into the Quest in some way, shape, or form, since they're pulling back from and again, they're not completely never making them. They're just putting them off a little bit and pulling their focus from AR. And besides, they did let go of a lot of their people. They laid off a ton of people. That was mostly their AR development team. So
Mm,
they are going to, when they start getting back into the AR, they're actually partnering with another group to do it. So they're not going to do it with
okay.
their own in-house like that. Yeah. What are you guys
Mm,
thinking about that?
I'm excited.
Mm,
I think it sounds
I
cool
like
to
it.
have it
I
in the
think,
Quest.
Johnny, you've got
yeah, I
some
think
smart
this is
glasses, right?
something
That are.
I do. I got the well, they're not really smart glasses. They're more like it's the XR Beam 2.
Mm-hmm.
Basically
Oh,
on one end of it, it plugs into the feet of the glasses, and then the other end is a USB-C. Well, they're both USB-C. Then you plug it to anything that outputs video, and I could play
Mm-hmm.
video games, I could look at the
hmm.
phone, I could they're really nice, and they're real well, okay. they look sort of like, if you look at me real quick, you're like, oh, they're just some Wayfarer glasses, but they're pretty
Mhm.
cool and I like them. The only problem is they're not smart. It's just plugging into your phone and
Oh,
seeing your phone screen or your video
Mm,
game or
which
whatever
is still cool
on the.
though.
And I
Yeah.
really like them for the plane. It's great. Like I'm just sitting there like looking at the playing a game or something or watching a movie, and I see them wherever I look, so I can put my head back if I want and relax. I can do whatever, and I'm not
Is it a
like
huge
hunched
screen?
over or holding a screen. In my glasses, it is. It's about like I would say maybe like a 60 inch or so. So it's not
Okay.
bad. Like it's good.
Hmm.
But as far as this whole, what did you call it? Like actual spatial anchoring or whatever.
Augments.
This is
Augments. Yeah,
very
the
the
spatial. Yeah.
augments. It's very exciting to me because now you can, think about decorating your space, or like I have this whole system. Like, what if I could put
right.
my DJ panel where my DJ controller is, and I could see that, and that's always there? Or I could have like a
Mm,
picture on the wall, and it's a video of something I think that's cool, or I can change it out. Or let's
yes.
say people can like come over and they have their glasses and they can see how I decorated my home. Or it's just really
Hmm.
Oh.
exciting to me, and I think that's where it's going to be once everybody has this. But they need to figure out all this stuff now, and now this is what's exciting because they're actually coming up with the infrastructure for this. So there's going to be
Okay.
like a, probably like, when you ask for some sort of graphic design work, you say it's this size by this size, and it's going to be the same thing. Like it's going to, except it's going to be 3D models, right? I think you're going to look at something up there, and your glasses are going to see what you're looking at in the menu, and then put a 3D representation of it in front of you so you can see if you like it. Like things like that are coming. Like we don't even understand. Like this is super
Hmm.
exciting to me, and I'm
Yeah,
glad that
right.
uh the AVP came out because now people are taking it seriously. Now this is
Hmm.
something that I think is viable, and now Meta can just say what are they doing, and maybe we can do it a little bit different. So
Hmm.
just like they have
Yes.
OpenXR, which is like everything, everything's supposed to work on every headset. This is going to be
Hmm.
Open AR, I believe, like just the AR
Nice.
portion or something like that. So it's going to be like a Google Maps, but it's in the headset, and people can put whatever they want in it. That's what I think. It's pretty
Hmm.
exciting. Maybe I'm like too far ahead of myself, but when I see something like this,
Hmm.
that's what I hear. I'm like, all right, Or like the other day, we were
Yeah.
Hmm.
talking about, let's say someone's having a heart attack. You grab the AED, it comes with glasses, and it helps you do what you need to do. Like these are the things that are
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
exciting, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I agree.
absolutely. It's to
I agree.
enhance our lives. It's to enhance
Hmm.
what we are already doing. It's augmenting
Hmm.
our normal lives. So I'm
For
really
work
excited
and
about it.
play.
And play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the commercial for the augments and things, and I saw one where they took away the ceiling and put stars up there. Like you could just see up
Oh,
into the
neat.
galaxy, and then you could see the constellations. It's a lot like Pillow, but imagine that being
Oh,
able to
okay.
have that all the time. That'd be
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
kind of cool.
Beautiful.
What
Mm-hmm.
about you guys? Would do any of you guys have any smart glasses of any kind or any AR glasses or anything like that? If you do, give me a little jump. But if not, okay. Now, how many of you guys would actually get something like that if you could do that? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or just the excitement that it's coming to our quests. I mean,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
exciting there.
that is kind of cool too, though. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, no, yeah, I mean, I would definitely want something like that. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, especially because if you're listen again, you don't have to strap a big old headset onto your face that's super obvious when you're in public and on a plane like so many people are doing that now with the AVP. There you just see it all over the place. They're talking about people walking down the street with it and doing all kinds of
Yep.
stuff and nobody's really noticing anything different. It's like it's okay, it's
I
fine.
love it.
But I think something like that's pretty cool though. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um
I
well,
do too.
with regard to with the technology how it is, ever changing. They're coming out with this something else in addition to things. Now, you've got your smartwatches that will go ahead and take your health metrics and things like that. Well, University of Washington has created these earrings, and they're thermal earrings, and they basically have like a stud that takes your temperature, and then they have a little dangling thing down there, a little dangle part, and that takes the ambient temperature around you. And they are finding now they've only at the time of the printing of the article they were only maybe using it on about 6 people because it's a brand new thing they were trying. But with all of those people that they did, they noticed that they had a much more reliable, spot on reading on their stats. And they're saying that
Hmm.
with this kind of how close this is with things that they are going to have and of course you can feel free to plug your ears, guys. Very reliable menstrual cycle tracking. And they will have it's going to help with things like, tell people when they have a fever, when they're sick, if they're not feeling well, if they're too stressed.
Cool.
So they're saying that there's a lot of potential with these thermal earrings.
Hmm.
Now, would you guys get them? Would you wear them?
I would try them as long as they're not going to explode like those batteries we keep talking about.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I would
Johnny, what about
definitely
you?
try them.
Would you grab a stud or something
I
there?
mean,
Stud? Would you grab a stud
I
stud?
probably would. I'm into these bio. I forgot what they're calling them. I remember somebody had like these implants. Remember we were talking about
Oh,
those.
yeah.
I thought those were
Remember
Biometric.
so
those?
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Biometric implant. I like that, but
Mm-hmm.
like they need
Mm-hmm.
to focus
Mm.
more on the contacts. Like, give me some contacts with a display. But like the earrings, I guess. I mean, I would probably like. Yeah, I would like to monitor. Like that'd be like my interest would be what else could they monitor,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and what other like metrics I mean, it's interesting, and I think
Decibels.
we're starting to see decibel. Maybe it's too loud, right? Maybe it's not
Yeah,
loud enough.
that'd be a great one.
Maybe
Oh,
it
yeah.
could
I would love that.
identify, something you're cleaning your ear too hard with the cute. Like I don't know. Like they'll figure something out, but you're starting to see
Yeah.
more and more of this, right? Like we've got
Hmm.
the headsets, we've got earrings, we've got Apple or smart watches, right? Like we are starting to integrate, and I think it's a slow integration, but eventually like you're just gonna get upgraded a new pair of this or that, and it's exciting. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm looking forward to, and the
Hmm.
functionality, and like we say, right, work and play. So how could this
Hmm.
enhance what I'm already doing?
Yeah.
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 Give me more
No,
tech.
but that makes
Also,
sense.
safety
Yeah.
tip,
Would you
do not
would you guys
Yeah.
get
use
any if you can't jump up and down if you
Q-tips
guys
in your ear
have a comment
canal.
on this, because I'm curious if you
You're a
guys would
little
end up getting
quiet,
some of this
Lunar.
stuff. What's that?
Could you say that again, Luna?
Do not use Q-tips in your ear canal.
This is
Oh,
true.
yes.
Oh,
What do they
That
say?
is
Don't
a
put
true
anything in your
statement.
ear that's smaller than your elbow. That's what I always used to hear.
Yeah. Yep.
oh,
You can do
Yeah,
the
you can.
outside of the ring of the ear, but just not down in
Yeah,
the ear canal.
yeah, you got to be
Yep.
careful
you
about that.
got me.
Jem, what do you have to add?
I'll say why Luna says that. Because a few weeks ago, my husband, after I've told him multiple times do not stick a Q-tip in your ear, he lost the head of the Q-tip ear in his eardrum in his
Oh
ear. So he
no!
had to go to the
How?
No.
hospital to have it
Wait a minute.
taken
How
out.
did it break off?
No.
I guess like he
I can't get
just
those things to
put
break
it.
off.
Well, what have you been doing, Psycho? Are you putting them in your ear that you're not supposed to be doing either?
Well, I'll tell
Aha.
you something. I don't mind sharing that with you, but it's going to take a few drinks. So, you know.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
because like even when the wipe in the outside of my ear, I always check the heads of those Q-tips. Like I'll pull on it a little bit just to make
wow.
sure, but I don't put them in
Huh.
because as a child I suffered from ear infections really bad. And the truth is they
Mm-hmm.
tell you don't put something in there because you're basically pushing the wax further in and it can
Yeah.
cause
Mm.
Oh,
those ear infections and stuff. So, but yeah, he did
Speak.
Wow.
lose one and they actually
Oh my
had
God.
to go to the emergency room to have it removed.
What did they say
God.
about
oh
that? Did they
man, I'm
say they see a lot of
scared.
that coming in there? Did they have
Yeah, but
come?
they also warned him don't stick the Q-tip in your ear.
Oh man,
Yeah. Hello,
They
that's
grown
dissolve
man.
it
horrible.
Don't do that.
basically. They just put
Oh my
like a
God.
liquid or something and it dissolves it basically, really, as long
Oh.
to get rid of the
Okay.
cotton part. If it's just the cotton part that comes off, but yeah.
Oh.
I'm so
Oh.
bad. I
That's.
always
Wow.
do that. I can't wait to get out of the shower and put it in my ear and like
I
I need to
know.
figure something out. I'll
I know.
admit
I
it.
used to do
I'm
that.
no
Just
shame.
get
Like
some
I'll
tissue,
stick it in there
Johnny.
and I'll.
Just get some tissue
It's
and
not the
roll it up a little
same. It
bit and
doesn't
kind of
feel. I don't
absorb.
feel the
They
good
have
feeling.
earwax removing drops that you can get from the
That's
I've
right.
heard
pharmacy.
that.
Debrox.
Mm.
Debrox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some research.
They do have
Boy, I
stuff
did
My
like
not
that.
think I was
I
gonna
just
talk about this today.
Well,
today
my
we'll just eat
husband
a little smorgasbord.
my husband actually perforated his eardrum 2 weeks ago I don't think it was
What?
Q-tips thing. You knew about
You didn't
this.
tell me
Yeah,
that.
he did. And he had to go to the doctor and has steroids and antibiotics. We don't know if it's a Q-tip
Oh,
situation. It was probably because of sinus
oh,
infection as well. But
oh,
yeah,
okay. Oh, I was gonna say. I thought you meant acute. Okay, wow, wow. Oh my
yeah,
God, I'm so
not a
sorry.
Q-tip situation. This is not a Q-tip
Yeah.
situation.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, he's a smart guy. So I would assume he wouldn't. Not that your husband's not smart, Jem. Just saying.
He's not
That
smart. It's okay. I agree. He's
Oh.
not smart.
he's not smart.
No,
He just admits
I
it.
warned
Oh
Like
him.
my God.
he's not.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, speaking of painful things,
Hmm.
let's talk about something really ugly. So you know how the tech companies were having financial problems? They said they were laying people off a lot and all that stuff. And well,
Hmm.
there is a little trend going on now that really sucks for people, and it is the fact that major tech companies are doing layoffs, but they are financially solvent. They're doing well. They are doing really well, very healthy financials, and they are still laying off people. And
Mm.
a lot of them, let's for example, a couple they mentioned like Grammarly, right? Grammarly and Microsoft. They've already started laying off here in January, and they I guess with the Grammarly people, they were saying the decisions were based, about getting their resources focused on what they consider their, more pressing goals, right? Well, what does that mean? What does that mean to somebody? What do you say that to somebody who you're letting go? That well, our resources are going to be more focused. You can't be a part of that. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Mm.
So, Grammarly was last valued at $13 billion, you guys, and they just cut out
Whoa.
230 jobs. They call them roles, but you know what? They're trying to make it sound pretty. They're jobs. They're jobs that put food on the table for people and pay bills. This business restructuring, as they call it, it's not about cutting costs or anything like that. But the Grammarly guy was talking about it. He said that it's a means of recalibrating their resources for what he calls, quote, the AI-enabled workplace of the future, end quote. So they want like a different mix
Mm.
of, skill sets and capabilities and things. And I don't know. I mean, it's tough because right now with AI, I know you got to get people in there, but it's so new. Is there nothing that the employees could maybe take some classes or they could learn to kind of pivot a little bit within their job or something? I mean, I don't know. I'm just sad about seeing that happen. These companies like
Yeah.
I mean, since January they were saying that oh my God, there were like 34,250 workers, I guess, that were affected, that were let go. And um
Mm.
uh the Discord, I want to talk about Discord. That's right, Discord's doing this too. Discord just let go of 17% of their staff, and Discord is valued at 15 billion, and they are doing really well. And it just days before Microsoft reported the, God, a record 62 billion in revenue. 62 billion. They cut 1900 jobs. Like days before they announced
Oh
that, they
my
cut 1900
gosh.
jobs. And
Wow.
Microsoft,
Oh yeah.
the
Alt space.
company that killed off Altspace and committed digital genocide. Yeah. So
Mm.
I would have to say that there's listen, my feelings are my feelings about this. I think that sucks. I'm sorry. I just really, these people help these companies get to these levels. They help them get to this, this status, to get to this point, and then they're just letting them go. I mean, it's just,
Mm.
come on. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
It's sad.
I would
Yeah.
say that it's tough for me being someone that was laid off. Like I understand, like it was really upsetting to me. I was glad I found my groove in this new thing I'm doing, and I kind of realized that at least in this country, it's not, you work somewhere, you get a pension for 20 years. Like, it's just not that anymore. You going from one
No.
thing to another, you need to
Hmm.
amass all kinds of skills and abilities. And you just, just like they get rid of people, you got to get rid and go to the next thing. And unfortunately, that's how it is. You can't just do a good job at one place and hope to retire in 20 years with a pension. It's just not
Yeah.
realistic anymore. Now, some of this is
Yeah.
probably like with the Microsoft, it's probably because it's a publicly traded company, and anytime earnings come out, and if it's not doing good, the first thing to do is layoffs. But I don't know that Grammarly and Discord are publicly traded companies, so I don't know what the motivation is there.
Mhm.
But It's tough. I mean, no one's safe. You just have to like, if you find something you're good at and you have fun at that place where you're working, just do as best as you can, and it's just ammo for your resume on the next one. That's what I've kind of determined from all this, and it sucks. Yeah, like you can't just do a good job anymore. It's even if you do that, you're at the whim of somebody else's. Let's get rid of people and bring more people in.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
always, it sounds corny, but every time a door shuts, another one, at least one other one opens. And sometimes you don't realize that until you've already walked through the new door and you're like, okay, I get it. Because I was jaded. I was upset. I
Right.
was like, what am
I
I going to
know.
Mhm.
do? I was like, who
Yeah.
can move into this house with me to help me pay it? Like, and now
Yeah.
everything's okay. Now it's like, you just have to, it's like with anything in life, you could either be upset about it or you can just kind of like collect and just try and start over. I mean, you can always start over, and they can't take away your drive, is what I learned.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I
Mhm.
mean, it's true. Nobody's safe anymore. And I have some friends who work for tech, and you know what? And amazing. They were some of the top employees. They were lauded all the time. They did amazing work, and
Mhm.
shocked that they were let go with some other people because these were some of their. I mean, they had just finished doing the rounds of raises and of promotions and stuff, and they got them. And then literally within like some months time, that was like, oh, sorry, we've got to let you go. I mean, you're never safe. It
Hmm.
doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter how well you do and how good you do at your job. I mean, the truth is you're never safe nowadays. And it's sad because, back in my parents' time, I mean, all of our parents' time, back then, I mean, you could work for a company for a long period of time. Back then it was like, what do you mean you're changing jobs after 5 years? That's not enough time at a job. What are you doing? Whereas now, a
Mhm.
matter of months, 6 months is standard. Yeah, 6 months you popping around to different, companies. That's okay. That's considered fine. 3 months is fine. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know. Faye, what do you
Mhm.
think about that stuff?
Oh, it's really crappy. I knew of people in Meta when I was working with them, and they had people that were integral, really, really important, at
Hmm.
least I thought, but they did a restructuring and moved people around and had one person start doing the job of like three and let go so many people. It was,
That's
it
just
made,
sad.
it didn't make sense. Yeah.
No, no. Do any of you guys have any comments on that? If you do, let me see a little hop. Yeah, Ark.
So this is not for the present. This is for the future. And using if the past is any kind of gauge for the future. I mean, we've had the
Hmm.
Industrial Revolution, which then completely upended. And they were that's in fact that's where the word sabotage came from. They'd take off their sabot shoes and then throw them into the machine to destroy them because they felt it was a threat to their livelihood, and they were right. But this is gets one of those
Mm.
things that gets very complicated. I'm I don't mean this in a dismissive way because I'm genuinely heartbroken and sympathetic to people losing their jobs right now. But my opinion is, and I could history maybe this might be an outlier this time. Every time we've had multiple industrial revolutions. We've had the actual one. We've had the electronic industrial revolution. We've had the transistor revolution. We've had I mean you can go on a list of them. We had the communications revolution. I think that in the long run, this is going to average out, and people will eventually get jobs back. I think that
Yeah.
the current problem is what we do for people during the transition time as economies evolve and adapt and figure out a new
So true, bestie.
equilibrium for people
Thank
to
you.
have. Um, and I think that that's kind of where things are going to ultimately average out eventually. But what that means for the present, I don't know, and that's the real problem. I think that companies that do this have an obligation to provide um, adaptive training. There's been
Hmm.
said that it's not so much people who are going to lose their jobs that because of AI, it's people that don't know how to use AI who are going to be the one at risk. So some kind of solution where better training and opportunities are provided by the company that cuts their people. I don't know how to enforce that or what the solution for this, but that's kind of my just rambling thought that eventually this
Yeah.
will work itself out. It's just the present is going to suck.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I honestly think there should be some loyalty. It's just not if people are giving to the company and everything,
Well,
it would just be nice to be able to give them a little bit of a cushion to be like, okay, listen, 3 months. We need you to know this in 3 months. We were going to train. We're going to give you some opportunities for training. Let's get you up to speed, and retain the loyalty and the value of the employees who've given themselves to this company. I just, I don't know. I just think it's sad that that isn't kind of inherent. Jem.
Yeah, but like Faye said, if they're doing and they're taking like people's jobs away, right? And they're giving one
Mm-hmm.
person three people's jobs,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to think of what the quality is going to become of it at the end. I mean, they might
Mm.
not stop it
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
away
it's
yet,
diluting it. Mhm.
but you don't know what's going to happen in a month or 2 or 3 months, what's going to end up
Mm-hmm.
because people are going to be like, well, it's not as good as it used to be.
Mhm.
Right.
So that would be a
Yeah.
concern.
Mhm.
Well, and that is true because work can suffer. But here's the thing too: for when it comes down to it, like so for example, my friend, she works for an ambulance company, and she basically sets up any event that happens, has to have some ambulance, some kind of medical, like concerts or ball games, all this kind of stuff, events, things like that. So that's what she does. And the thing is, she has been from the day one she's been doing that job. She has been so stressed. I've always been so nervous because of the stress. I've always been worried about her. And the thing of it
Mm.
is that they have taken away even more people. She has gotten, and she's gone out and gotten business. Like there are major tech companies that she has gotten contracts with. She's brought in so many millions of dollars to this company, and they will not even give her an assistant of any kind just for a few things. And finally, there was somebody they were going to, have help her out, and then it didn't work out. They took them away from her. They took like a couple of people away from her.
Mhm.
Like, oh, here's somebody. Just kidding. Took them away. And right now she has just been given some major contracts that they came up to her and said, here, make it happen. And there's one of these things, there's like 80 events, 80 official events a year, plus 50 additional ones for this one
Whoa.
particular thing she has. I'm being careful that I don't say things
Mhm.
that I shouldn't be saying. And that's only one. So let's picture that. And she was given multiple groups of those things. And it's just horrible. She works
Oh
7 days
my
a week
god.
and she's always on call. And it's really hard for her, to even have a life because of that. And it's
Mm.
just very sad. So I think the companies need to watch for people that have, burnout or that need help or, and I mean, when they're doing what they did to the guy at Meta you were talking about, I mean, having
Mhm.
them piling on the extra work, I mean, that's dangerous. That's a real life situation about a person's health, I mean, that's their
Mhm.
well-being.
Yeah.
And I thought all the companies started out with, oh yeah, all these tech companies here, we've got all this great food for you guys, all this free food, have a great time, bring your animals, come to work dressed like like a loser. No big deal. God forbid anybody look professional nowadays, right? And so what happens? People show up in their ripped up nasty clothing or they're coming in from surfing at the beach, whatever. It's all acceptable. But you know what? The bad part of this is that all this stuff's happening and they came out this way, but now the companies are changing. Are those companies taking care of those people now? No. It's just like
Mm.
they made a big deal about it and now it's like, oh, and by the way, we're laying you off. See ya. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
So putting a
Mm.
bunch of work on you and trying to pretend that we're a healthy company and we try to support your well-being. But by the way, I'm going to give you 5 times the amount of work that you're supposed to be doing. So have fun
Mhm.
with your stress and, don't have a stroke. I don't know. It's just not cool. It's just not cool. But
Mhm.
speaking of these companies, you were talking about Meta. I want to talk about this really kind of fun little thing here. So, Zucky tried the AVP and was talking about how the Quest 3 is better than the AVP, the different ways that it's
Mm.
better.
I saw that video.
And I will
Mhm.
tell you a few of these things. So, first of all, the Q3 is 120 grams less. It's more comfortable to wear longer. He said it allows greater motion because there's no battery pack, and you get a wider field of view, of course. And
Mhm.
the fact that there are hand controllers, that's better. Hand tracking, and all that stuff is better. And he did say that he does like the AVP eye tracking. That's something that is going to be coming back to the Meta products. He said that is going to be making an appearance again. So that's something interesting.
Hmm.
The Q3 has a better immersive content library and of course 7 times less expensive. I mean, that's a big one. And then he did say though that the AVP is a better entertainment device. So, do you, Johnny, with all this, I know you've only tried it a short time, and Faye, you haven't done that yet, but does that sound about right from what you've been reading and everything?
it it is almost like Zucky has been watching our podcast because everything we've been saying, like, hey, I can do this, all right. Like he's absolutely right. And the only thing I can man, I think about this all the time, and like I talk about it in here, I talk about it in real life, I talk about it everywhere. And the only thing I can say is like it's almost like, what kind of car do you want? Do you want a top of the line car, or are you interested in a pretty decent sports car which you could soup up, load a custom tune, change out, the lights, do whatever. Like, it's about what you want. And I would say it is a better product, period. The Quest 3 blows it away. However, if I had $1 million and it was exclusive content, like, those screens got me. Like, the screens
Yeah.
really got me. Like, it was just beautiful. That being said, do I need a Lamborghini to go get my coffee? No, I can go in my regular car or truck, and it's about
Mm-hmm.
utility and what you want. The best part of this story is that he's looking at it and he can tell you, he's giving you the straight business. I like the eye tracking, and this is exciting because you have two companies, not only the competition for price or whatever, but he's seeing somebody else take their take on VR. And Apple really did it from the ground up. Everything was like, it's like they looked at nothing from VR before other than, hey, it
Mm-hmm.
goes on your face and it's a display. They built it from
Yeah.
the ground up over there, and they did it their way. Now
Yeah.
Zucky's looking at them saying, hey, well, here's some of the things I like from them. Like, now we get to see some of those improvements at a lesser price. So,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
is it that functionality that I get from my iPhone that I turn it on and it just works and I'm only going to have an iPhone? It's not there yet. But when it does, who knows? I might go to Apple. Like, but until then, if I can't DJ in there while, doing all the other stuff I do in here, like, I'm not used to it yet. It's not like, it doesn't have the
Yeah.
stations on the radio I'm looking for in that car.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
only has
Mhm.
Yeah.
those. So
Yeah.
yes, it's a car. It's just a different car. You get different things. One's an
Yeah.
off-road vehicle, one's a whatever. So compare it how you
Mm-hmm.
want. But I really liked his take on it, and it's true. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with people discovering VR for the first time if they've never used it. I am glad and I welcome it, and I'm excited for the competition.
Yeah. Faye, what
Mhm.
do you feel about that?
The competition, just like Johnny said, anytime
Mm-hmm.
that we have competition entering the arena, we have more products that come out, and more uh better form factors that start showing up, more features, and definitely a better price. So I definitely welcome it. As far as, like, we've talked about a few times before, though, I just think that the price point of the AVP at this point is still just too
Yeah.
formidable for most people to even really consider. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really cool factors about it. But no, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
be sticking with the Quest 3 for now.
Yeah.
I want
Oh
augmented
yeah.
reality in my life. I want a headset like that, but
Of
let's
course.
see what
Of
comes
course.
around the bend afterwards.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, because there is actually, or the next thing we're going to talk about has to do with that. Do you guys, does anyone have any thoughts that you want to add? If you do, just hop up and down, and if not, that's okay. Ark, yeah, what are you thinking, Ark?
Most briefly, I could not possibly agree with what Johnny said more. I mean, that was so well said. I mean, to be sure, the
Thank
phrase
you.
spatial computing is semantics, but there he hit on exactly what I've also felt. There's one legitimate thing about it calling it spatial computing. Apple is coming at it from a different philosophical perspective, and when you do have a different philosophy, you will end up providing different solutions, as Johnny was saying, for different problems because of that. So that's
Hmm.
absolutely legitimate. And like Faye was saying, the cost. Let me put my spin on that. I could actually buy the Apple Vision Pro, ignoring the fact that my wife would justifiably kill me,
Wow,
or
brave
I
man.
could literally, yeah, or I could literally pay my condo due and my mortgage for the next 3 months and have some change left over. So just
Yeah.
process that for a
Mm,
second. I
yeah.
mean,
Hmm.
and I'm not
Yeah.
exaggerating.
Yeah. Yeah. That has come up in conversation with people. So,
Mhm.
well, actually that's interesting because it kind of spins into what we're going to talk about next, which is apparently there are a lot of people that are returning their AVPs. They've got a
Mm.
14-day window once you purchase it that you can return it. And there are a ton of people that are returning their Apple Vision Pros. And they've cited a bunch of reasons regarding comfort, headaches, eye strain, things like that. Some of them saying it really triggers motion sickness. So, Faye, I certainly wouldn't want you messing around with one of those right now. Um,
That's not a good thing.
the
Yeah.
no, and the fact that the weight in it's front loaded, and all that. And I'll tell you, there's a guy who the product manager. He's kind of like for The Verge. He thinks that the AVP is what burst a blood vessel in his eye. I mean, he's like literally
Wow.
feeling that, and not thrilled about it at all. And so
Hmm.
I've got a few things here, and I actually have some notes on this because like you can't memorize all this, but I want to tell you what some of the things that people were saying. So one guy said that he dreaded putting on this thing and that it was too expensive and unwieldy to even try to get used to even the discomfort. Um, so the device is not applicable to someone's work. An engineer said the coding experience failed to convince him, and focusing issues caused headaches.
Mm.
And he said, like, hey, if I'm not using it for productivity and I don't love it for entertainment, and there aren't enough games, then I can't justify keeping it. And there's a guy who does community management and moderation for Google, and he said his quote was, "Futzing around with Windows and file management are productively deal breakers. It's difficult to multitask between windows. Several file types are not supported." So he said, "I can't see how um, creating something in a slide in AVP would be less energy than a mouse and a keyboard to do it, even if it does make you
Mm.
feel like you're in Minority Report," which I thought was kind of funny. Uh,
That is a
so
bonus.
it's true. And but everybody is saying, but they're all still saying they like where it's going, and they're saying that
Yeah.
they're willing to try the next gen. They said, you know what,
Yeah.
we're gonna take this back, and we're not gonna take, but we are excited to try Gen 2 and see what happens with that. Um,
Hmm.
I'm just shocked. I mean, I'm shocked that so many of them are going back so quickly like that. That's insane, right? I mean,
I,
wow.
yeah,
What do you think,
that is
Faye?
really shocking. I would have thought that if you put the money into it, you were willing to put that much money into it, that you were pretty confident in your decisions. So it must
Hmm.
it must rear its head after the demo. That's really
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what the I wish I could see the analytics on that and see the specs, because I
Hmm.
don't know. I think that's whoops. Whoa, look at that. I'm moving around. I think that's
Woo!
something. Well, wait a minute. Wait a second. Oh my God, I've got the movies here, the jumpins. I got the join and jumpin'. Johnny,
I
do you have any
thought
music?
so.
Do you have any music? Oh my gosh,
I
I can't
do.
stop. I
I
can't.
do.
What's happening to me? What's happening to
She
me?
just
I'm
couldn't
feeling it
handle
coming on,
herself.
guys. Oh my God. Dance break, everybody. Come on in here. What? What?
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. Whoa. Mm-hmm. Whoa. That's so cool.
Tush push.
Yeah, literally.
Woo! Yes. Now, that's what I'm talking about.
Woo, woo.
Wanna go for a ride?
Woo!
Oh yeah.
I do. Woo! All right.
Woohoo!
Ah, that is
Shake it up, shake it up.
feeling nice
cardio.
nice and good, nice and relaxed there.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Woo! That's
It
right. I
was an
needed that. I
original
needed.
one from me. A mix, you could catch it on
Nice.
SoundCloud.
That was a
Yeah.
good mix.
Ooh.
Now,
Oh.
Thank you.
was I right or was I wrong? Was there some Smashing Pumpkins in there? Is that what I heard?
There was
Want
a
to go
little
for a
bit of
ride?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh,
A
wow.
I
little bit
thought
of
that's
Good ear, Faye.
yeah.
It was just one word, but
Hmm.
yeah. Nice.
Oh my God.
Cool.
I like the song they did for the what was that song they did for the movie? The oh God.
Oh,
With
The
Rorschach
Gamebot?
and
Batman.
no
Oh,
no
Okay,
no
I
no
don't know
the
what I'm
never
talking
mind.
about.
the one with Rorschach and oh man,
Yeah.
I drew a blank on it. With that super hot Jeffrey Dean Morgan who played Negan in Walking Dead. He was in it shortly for a while.
Denny.
Denny. Oh my God, Denny, right?
Denny.
God, he was so. Oh my God, I wanted Denny. I wanted to marry Denny. Okay,
He was so
sorry.
sweet.
Uh,
He was so
he was
sweet.
so sweet in that. Grey's Anatomy. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in Grey's Anatomy as Denny. Oh, so adorable.
Was
Ladies,
that
just
McCreamy or
saying,
which
check
one
it
was
out.
that?
Mm. Oh no, God
No, it
no!
wasn't
It
a
was
McDreamy or a
the guy who
McDreamy
plays
or
Negan
a
on Walking
McSteamy.
Dead.
None of those.
Oh,
He that's where he was
Yeah.
he was kind of discovered and became known from.
Mhm.
He was this wealthy dude who was a love interest of somebody, and he ended up passing away, which was so sad. He was a patient,
Mm.
but oh my God, he was so cute. He was so sweet.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so does anybody
it's
out
a
there have T-Mobile or Mint Mobile for your phones? I have T. Okay,
Yeah,
Ark, you got
T-Mobile.
T?
I got mint.
Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
you got Mint. Okay, good. Well, then this is good to know. Okay, so you probably know this, but so T-Mobile is going to be acquiring Mint Mobile, and
What?
yeah, and there are four consumer
Oh.
advocacy groups. Um, one of them is a Consumer Reports, so this is like big time stuff here, and they are requesting that the Federal Trade Commission implement a special phone unlocking condition for people. And that is that within 30 days, that all devices will be unlocked, and then 60 days after the network activation, or if you are unable to unlock the device automatically, they want them to be automatically unlocked, then at least be able to unlock it manually with very clear and easy directions on how to do it. Because they want to make this so that low income customers, and can we say again that that bar has risen again? Low income is what used to be middle class. Low
Mhm.
income customers can switch to a new carrier without having to buy a new phone, which is what
Mhm.
happens. So if if they decide they're going to be switching over to T-Mobile and now and everything's going to be more expensive and they want to leave, well, you got to go somewhere else and buy a new phone. So they're just saying, listen, that's not fair, and we want to make
Oh.
sure they can take their phone with them so that it should be unlocked.
Okay.
Um, I don't know, Ark, are you concerned at all about this switch?
Um, for reasons I can't go into because I work for a communication company I'm under and I'm not allowed to comment, but I might be getting my
Mhm.
Mhm.
service free before too long. So for me, that's not a
Okay.
downside. But I mean,
Okay.
I hear where you're going with that though.
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you
Because
look at it from
that's
an e-waste perspective, this is the right move, right? And I'm not talking
yeah.
about like, hey, it's green, buy more stuff from us. It's more like doing the right thing. Like, do we really need to get another phone if it's not?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Well, wow, that's usually happening to me. But yes, I know what he's saying. It does make a difference, and it is nice to be able to try to be conservationist in that way. And I mean, I
Mhm.
hope they can do it. I hope that they actually do this for people. I think people need to be more taken care of because the cell phone companies, they really got you. They really, unfortunately, you're stuck. If you want to have a phone, you're going to have to go and abide by what they've got going on.
They ejected me. My
Mhm.
cellular
That's
service has
okay.
ejected me. I've said
That
too
see,
much. I don't agree with this. New phones for everybody.
there you go. Oh no. So what are you saying, Johnny? The e-waste? Yeah.
Just saying, like doing the right thing about it, right? Like, do we
Mm-hmm.
really need a whole nother device? And what happens? I also work in the telecommunication space, and
Mhm.
it's a lot of e-waste. Like, it's all this stuff, right? And especially the way the semiconductor situation is, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's there's global diplomacy is being like hung upon semiconductor shortage, the issues in Taiwan. I don't want to get too political with things, but it's a real
Yeah.
issue, and anything we could do to ease that semiconductor shortage. Just remember when it was COVID, where there was no
Mhm.
vehicles, they couldn't make them. Like this is
Yep.
Yeah.
this is a step in the
Yeah.
right direction. And
Makes
if they,
sense.
if other companies do this, great. I mean, think about again with the Apple, with this iPhone. The only reason I got the new iPhone was because it could shoot spatial video. Other than that, I
Mm-hmm.
had the iPhone X and I had it for many years and I never had an issue with it. But the thing that made me
Mhm.
upgrade to the new one is being able to take those spatial videos. And it's actually really cool. I tried it out. I took one of my cat and I saw it in 3D. I saw this huge spatial video of my cat in the headset. It's really easy, but
Aw.
Oh wow.
stuff like that it's just really cool. Like that's why I upgraded because I really didn't need another phone. Like they really don't do
Right.
anything more, you
Mm.
know. So I agree with this, and I think this is a good move.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, well, we're getting to the time here, guys, where we're getting close to the end of the show. But before we do, I want to run through this last story, and the ones we didn't get to, we can take on next week. But this
Mhm.
is something that I want to talk about here. There is the first ever iOS Trojan that has been discovered. Now, iOS,
What?
Apple, that nothing gets in there, right? That is all about security
Yeah.
and safety, and it's a shocker. So it is a banking
Oh.
Trojan that is ported to the iPhone, and it is stealing facial rec to break into people's bank accounts. It's called Gold Digger. And it was an Android Trojan that has been modified with some new capabilities, and they discovered it actually in October, that the new variation, and they're calling it Gold Pickaxe. These names are so funny. They remind me of let's
Wow.
see this old miner. I'm gonna get into your phone. So these are both Android and iOS issues. And what they do by getting into it, what happens is it gets your facial rec, your identity documents, it intercepts texts, and then it can siphon funds from banks or from financial apps. And so this thing is insane. Um, they say that what's even worse about this now is they have modified it to where it can get your biometric data, which is then used to create AI deepfakes. And they
Oh
impersonate
my
victims
gosh.
and access their bank accounts with this thing. Um,
Oh,
Now it is not
next
in the
level.
US yet as of the writing of the thing, and but they're saying that they're thinking it's going to be coming to, it could come to US, Canada, English speaking countries, all that kind of stuff. Right now it's in Vietnam and it's in Thailand and kind of making the rounds. Um, and the way they did this was they used Apple's testing app, Test Flight,
Mhm.
and they then persuaded via social engineering victims to install a mobile device management profile, which is something used by businesses, the IT department of businesses. They can, kind of keep track of the phones, manage the company phones,
Yeah.
computers, and all that kind of stuff. And so once they download this thing, they put it in there. This allows these bad actors, I hate to say bad actors too, because as an actor, that really upsets me, that term.
Mm. Mhm.
But it allows them complete control of the iPhone, and
Mm.
in so doing, and watching out for this and seeing the things that are happening with this, they have discovered an even newer variant, which is called Gold Digger Plus. And so now they're waiting to see what else
Hmm.
comes about with that. This stuff is really turning over
Gosh.
fast. Can you believe that? I mean, a Trojan in
Terrifying.
iOS?
That's
God, that's
terrifying.
crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know. What are your
There's
guys'
there's
thoughts
a
on
lot
that?
there's a lot to unpack here, and I purchased one of those Flipper Zeros, and I it's one of those things where you can like open like the Tesla things, and you can like crack into networks and stuff. Like I'm a big nerd, everybody knows that, and it's scary, and it just confirms what I thought before I got it, is that security is a mirage. Like like, yes, you can lock your door and all that, but somebody could take a brick and then throw it through the window and step in. It's the same with network
Hmm.
security. It
Mm.
if you try hard enough, you can brute force it and get it done. And these are the kind of things that, I mean, people need to start being careful. But maybe I'm reaching a little bit here, but these are the kind of things that you're going to need the blockchain. I'm sorry to bring it back to the crypto, but I think
Uh,
these are the things, these are the utilities that crypto is good for. You need authentication at that level. It's not about making money or Coin or Dogecoin or whatever. It's not about that. It's about the security aspect of it. And I think we're going to need better tools for these hackers and people that are, these malicious people. So in some respect, it is good to see that there's always going to be people doing the bad, but we're always going to need people out there doing good. But this
mhm.
is it's all false. Like, you can't, there's no way you can ever lock anything fully down, and it's just a matter of time before something's developed. But this is the ongoing war now between countries and between your wallet and pocketbook. Like, this is how battle is being waged now.
Yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah. That's insane.
Terrible warfare.
Um, mhm. No, that's just crazy. Anybody, any last thoughts out there about this before we move on? Because before we close it up, actually, because that's how many of you guys jump up? How many are Android folks out there? Okay, are the rest of you iOS then? Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have both, and I see the pros and cons of both, but that's crazy. As a matter of fact, I do more of my
The-
financial stuff on the iPhone and on my than on my Android. You know, I've started doing that, and now this came to light. So nothing is
Mm.
secure,
if they
really.
try to
You know.
steal my facial biometrics, it will destroy the virus. It's
Yeah, it'll be
too
like Mission
hideous for the
Impossible,
virus to
right?
work.
It'll
Yes,
self-destruct.
it'll
You know.
destroy the virus.
Oh my God.
They're like, oh,
Okay, guys.
let's not steal that one.
Let's not do that. So we don't need you incarcerated again, Johnny.
Yes.
Last week was a one-off. So anyway, guys, listen, thank you so much for being with us again this week. I hope that everybody
Yeah.
has a wonderful week. Listen, go out there and do some real good for people. You know, try to help somebody if you can this week, if there are people that need it. Keep an eye out for the people that have too much pride or that don't want to ask for help, you know, for whatever reasons, and do what you can for them. And guys, do you have anything you want to say to the folks out here before we leave?
Just we'll see you here, same time, same place every week. And
Mhm.
thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Johnny?
Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Hope y'all enjoyed the show and can't wait to see you guys next week.
Awesome.
Woo!
Awesome. Thank you guys. And anybody who wants to head over to the karaoke, we will go and do that now too. So if anybody wants to sing a little bit, feel free. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Thanks, everybody.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks,
Yay.
Lunar, for streaming. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Lunar.
Lunar.